Welcome to Maslow AI, Systems Thinking for Life Fulfillment. I'm John Betancourt. I spent 25 years as a systems engineer, mostly in aerospace, with one clear mission: make planes fly better and safer using systems thinking. You can read more about my background in the description below. Here's what concerns me. When people try to fix problems in their lives, they rarely use systems thinking. They wing it. They try random hacks, and they wonder why they keep crashing. I'm here to help you build better systems, life systems. Let's start today with this one question. Why do intelligent people over and over again make catastrophically bad relationship decisions? Today, I'm going to tell you about my friend Miranda, 64-year-old woman who's about to walk back into an abusive relationship that nearly destroyed her. And I'm going to show you the 3 psychological forces that make this almost inevitable, including the one biological drive that can override almost everything else. But first, let me share Miranda's story, because I guarantee you know someone just like her, or maybe it's you. Miranda spent 5 years in what most of her friends unanimously called a non-relationship. For 5 years, she was never invited to his apartment. When she lost her job, he told her she was on her own. He wouldn't help her at all. One week, he decided to go on a cruise with his ex-wife, whether Miranda liked it or not. He flirted blatantly with other women in front of her. Generally, he would only visit Miranda every 2 weeks, and just for sex. He was never really her boyfriend. Her friends told her repeatedly, "Hey Miranda, you're not in a real relationship." Any reasonable person looking at this situation would say, run and run fast. And here's the twist that makes it so sad. Miranda, now 64 years old, 30 pounds overweight, and desperate, recently has been receiving Facebook DMs from this guy, and she's tempted to reply. How does an intelligent, educated woman even consider going back to this type of situation? I tried to explain to Miranda that she's driven to bad relationships like this for 3 reasons. And hopefully understanding these 3 forces can help her make better decisions and avoid those bad relationships. The first 2 are psychological. The third one is biological. And that third one, the biological drive, that's the most important and powerful one of them all. It can override logic, override self-respect, override everything your friends are telling you. Let me walk you through all 3, starting with the psychological foundation. Because once you understand these forces, you can finally start making changes instead of hoping willpower will save you. So driver number 1, attachment issues, mainly caused before you were 2 years old. Miranda, like many others, received very little affection from her mother, especially before the age of 2. Miranda's mother never told her in 64 years, "I love you." This creates what psychologists call insecure attachment patterns. Here's how it works. During that critical 0 to 2 year window, your brain literally is wiring itself for relationships. If you don't receive consistent affection, you develop a template that says, love comes with conditions. Love gets withdrawn. I have to earn affection. That's the first driver. Driver number 2. It's kind of related to what people sometimes call the Stockholm Syndrome. The Stockholm Syndrome justifies staying in abusive, non-relationships. Miranda is used to being treated this way and doesn't think she deserves better. Stockholm Syndrome isn't just for hostages. It's a psychological bonding with someone who treats you poorly through intermittent reinforcement. Here's the mechanism. When someone is mostly absent or cruel, and then occasionally shows kindness, your brain treats that kindness like winning the lottery. Every text from him feels like a jackpot because cruelty is the baseline. When he showed up every 2 weeks, it felt like generosity because the alternative was nothing. The intermittent reinforcement creates an addiction-like cycle. But let's pause Miranda's story for just a minute and ask, what's going on with him? Why is he showing up out of the blue after all this time? Well, chances are his dating options have dried up. Maybe his business deals are also a mess. Who in the world would do business with somebody like that? Anyway, he's probably not doing well. And he feels Miranda might be an easy mark, if not his ticket out of financial trouble and his own loneliness. Instead of being disgusted by this, Miranda sees this as an opportunity to find someone who will not leave her. Since he is as lonely as she is, and they both have no other options, that might be a good thing in her thinking. Lack of optionality often draws lonely people together. It's called codependence. But now we're going to get to the main driver, and this is the most powerful force of all. After all, this is called Maslow AI. So her Maslow, and you'll see it in the pyramid above, her Maslow love and belonging and sexual intimacy needs, tier 3, are not being met at all. She is lonely, and her needs outweigh her natural concerns and drive her to make bad decisions. Of all 3 drivers, I think the biological one is the most powerful. Let me explain why this beats everything else. Abraham Maslow identified that humans have a hierarchy of needs in 1943. Level 3 in that hierarchy is love and belonging, connection, and intimacy. When these needs are starved, we become desperate, and it overrides our rational decision-making. Our brains are literally hijacked by loneliness. It's like physical pain, literally. Here's what's happening in Miranda's brain and body based on fMRI scans. At 65 years old, she's actually aware of her biological clock, not for children, but for companionship. Being 30 pounds overweight has reduced her perceived dating options. The combination creates what I call scarcity desperation. Her nervous system is sending constant signals. You're running out of time. Take what you can get. When he contacts her, her brain releases dopamine in anticipation. Even thinking about him creates oxytocin bonding, despite all the logical knowledge that says, get away from this person. Meanwhile, her chronic loneliness is flooding her system with cortisol, a fight or flight response. The override, bad connection feels better than no connection. Her biology is literally hijacking her decision making. Miranda's story matters because this pattern is everywhere. Why do people stay in toxic jobs? Security needs override growth needs. Why do brilliant people make terrible financial decisions? Safety needs override long-term thinking. Why do successful people self-sabotage relationships? Esteem needs conflict with intimacy needs. The framework is always the same. When lower needs in Maslow's hierarchy are not met, they override higher values. You're literally taken hostage by your lower needs. You can't logic your way out of unmet biological needs. This is why most relationship advice fails. It ignores the hierarchy. Telling someone just have standards when they're starving for connection is like telling someone just eat healthy when they're literally starving for food. So what's the solution for Miranda and for anyone else caught in this pattern? Instead of just telling her, don't text him back, we need to address the problem with a systems approach. Step 1, let's take a systematic approach to meeting level 3 needs in a healthy way. This means building community before seeking a partner. Step 2, let's acknowledge that there are some attachment issues and need attachment repair work and let's find a professional to help address this broken childhood wiring. And step 3, let's acknowledge our biological needs are real and valid, and that there are better ways to meet them. The Maslow AI approach is to take a systems kind of audit, look at all the different components, and optimize all the levels instead of hoping willpower will save you or just addressing one particular need, such as loneliness. You identify which need level is being starved, recognize when lower needs are overriding your higher values, and create a systematic strategy to meet those needs at appropriate levels. Here's how you apply this framework to your own life. First, identify which level of Maslow's hierarchy is currently unmet or under threat in your life. It could be financial, it could be relationships, it could be physiological. Second, recognize when that unmet need is driving poor decisions in other areas. Third, create a systematic plan to meet that need through healthy channels. That's something that your friends can help you with. For Miranda, this means building societal connections through activities, volunteering, or community groups, working with a therapist on her attachment patterns, understanding that her need for intimacy is valid and real, but this particular guy will never meet it sustainably. The goal isn't to suppress your biological needs, it's to meet them in a systematic, healthy way rather than desperately. So here's your homework as our podcast viewer for today. Identify one area where you have an unmet need that's driving poor decisions in your life. Are you staying in a toxic job because of security needs? Making impulsive purchases? Accepting poor treatment? If you're doing any of those things, identify that need and go through a systematic process of figuring out how best to meet that need. If this episode helped you understand why intelligent people make devastating choices, hit the subscribe button and the like button. Both help me reach more people who need systems approaches to life optimization issues. Also, leave a comment in the comments below. Tell me, what need level are you struggling with and is driving you to make bad decisions? Remember, you can't willpower or logic your way out of unmet biological needs, but you can go about systematically fulfilling them. Stop hoping willpower will save you. Start thinking in systems. Again, I'm John Betancourt. Don't just survive dealing with your needs, systematically optimize for them.